What's going on, YouTube? This is Xavier, Professor X here. As you can see from the title below, this is my entry for the Jeremy Fragrance Review Contest. So shout out to you, Jeremy Fragrance. Congrats on hitting 200K, man. Well done. Now since that's out of the way, I wanted to tell you what type of video I'm going to be doing today. Today is going to be a bit of a double video. In part one, I'm going to give a brief recap, actually a detailed discussion on why department store fragrances are one big cash grab at the end of the day, with some different examples. Part two is going to be my response to Everyday Products' response to that video that I did a while back ago. Now, I did reach out to these people individually, but I wanted to take the initiative to address my response publicly as well. So, quick disclaimer before I begin. I do apologize to my viewers and subscribers who will find this video redundant. So I'll leave a comment in the description where you can fast forward to part two if you wish. So without further ado, let me begin. So, part one. As I said in my video a while back, I was at the mall because a few of my fellow friends and colleagues recommended Stronger With You, Mont Blanc Legend, a few other designer fragrances, and so I wanted to take the initiative to go to the mall, to go to Macy's, go to Sephora, go to the mall shops, and go smell some stuff. Here's what I figured out. Stronger With You by Armani smells like everything else. And I'm being honest with all of you. Like, there's nothing really that unique about it. I mean, they just fickle with a couple of things and whatever. Like, you spray it on, lasts a few hours, then it's gone. Now, listen to me. Here's what I'm saying. If you go to Macy's today and you buy a gift set of Stronger With You, like, first off, most guys are not going to use all that extra stuff. They're not going to use the shower gel. They're not going to use the deodorant. They may use the aftershave, but most likely not. And this I know, especially when I got into my fragrance journey, so it's around $89. So out of the door with tax, you're gonna pay around $100, like $97 and some change. Now, you can go to maxaroma.com and there's like 5 or 6 houses on there where you could pay about that price, maybe $25 to $30 more, and get a superior fragrance. Listen to me. You can go to fragrancex.com, put in FX15 as your coupon code, and you can get Black Vanilla Absolute by Perry Ellis for just under $40 shipped. Or even this, you can go to Sephora and get a 10 milliliter split of Jazz Club for $30. Great scent, well composed. You can do that, or you can go to Macy's and splurge your money on Stronger With You for $100. Now tell me, everyone, answer me this. Which two fragrances are a better fragrance between Stronger With You and Jazz Club? Let's be honest here. We have to be honest. Even if you not the biggest fan of Jazz Club, like, what fragrance is better composed? What has the better composition? What fragrance has the most character? And that's one thing you need to take into account. The other thing you need to take into account is this. When I'm referring to the issue of department store fragrances, I'm really talking about the accessibility. So there are a few unique fragrances, like D Square Potion Royal Black, Dior Homme Intense, Davidoff The Game Intense, L'Instant de Guerlain Extreme, Yves Saint Laurent's Opium Pour Homme, Tom Ford's Black Orchid, Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver, like those types of fragrances. Those are designer fragrances. The problem is with the accessibility. So when I'm talking about department store fragrances and designer fragrances being an accessibility issue, what I'm referring to is the instance where the normal, average, everyday Joe walks into the average department store where they're looking, they're smelling a few things, and they're walking out the door. Now, those fragrances, the Polo Blues, the Dior Homme Eaux, those fragrances are inferior to some of the fragrances I just listed earlier. Now, if you want to get into more, not necessarily complex, but more well-rounded designer fragrances, again, where are you going to find D Squared's Potion Royal Black? Tell me. First, you have to know the fragrance exists, number one. Secondly, you would have to go and call a D Squared boutique and have it sent to you. Because, honestly, the average Joe doesn't have accessibility to a D Squared boutique. Let me lay out the problem to department store fragrances. Here's the problem with department store fragrances. Department store fragrances, they all use the same notes, they all ride each other coattail, like they all use the same freaking formula, like none of them will take any risk, and they all smell exactly alike. Like I went and smelled, here's what I did. I went and smelled a little bit of Nautica, a little Versace, a little Dolce & Gabbana, some Issey Miyake, some whatchamacallit. At the end of the day, they were all citrus, they were all a little bit of Tonka and a little bit of woods. That was it. Like one fragrance had a little bit more wood to the top with just an ounce of splash of spiciness. The other fragrance had all citrus at the top with woods in the heart and some vanilla or musk in the base. Like they were so similar that I really couldn't tell the difference. Like it would be redundant to own those fragrances. Outside of a Burberry London, Givenchy Pie, Chanel Platinum Egoist, that's a bit unique, give or take. But I could literally count on my hands. I could literally walk into Macy's and count on my hands how many of those fragrances are unique. And say to you, yes, I think you should go buy that fragrance. I think you should go buy that fragrance because, excuse me, because that's unique. Once you cross that threshold of 5 to 8 bottles, that's it. Everything else is so redundantly, pitifully similar that owning all those bottles are ridiculous. All of us, I'm telling you, all of us frag heads, none of us reach for most of those fragrances. None of us give those fragrances a time of day. None of us wear most of those fragrances. Outside of maybe Mark or Ashton, and this is not a thing on Robes or Ashton. Robes or Ashton each own about 1,000 fragrances. They own fragrances that they haven't probably even opened. But for the average guy who's going to roam through around 35 to 50 bottles, like owning all these limited summer designer scents is redundant. Like I went and smelled Armani Cold Sport. It smells exactly like Dior Homme Sport, but just a little different. Forget about the new reformulation. All right. So here's what I'm saying. There's so many splits out there, like it's ridiculous. Like decantshop.com, perfumesamplesanddecants.com, surrendertochance.com, perfumecourt.com, scentsplit.com. Those are a few websites off the top of my head, and that's not mentioning Mickers or Max Forte or any of the Facebook groups. So what I'm saying is you don't have to waste your money on these department store fragrances where these split fragrances are going to last you longer, they're going to project better, they're going to give you more well-rounded composition. Like, don't waste your money on that junk. I'm telling you now. I mean, Jason Budd, my man 860 Cologne, just did a video on Dolce & Gabbana The One Eau de Parfum, and he's absolutely right. That fragrance is going to last a couple hours. That's it. If Dolce & Gabbana The One really wants to make an impact on the industry, they need to find a way to refine what they've already done. Because Dolce & Gabbana The One Eau de Parfum is a classic fragrance, a great fragrance. Its composition is quite good. But if you read the reviews on Fragrantica, longevity and projection's a problem for everybody. You gotta literally soak yourself in it, then it comes cloying the first hour, and you know. I'm saying this. If you really want to be technical, think of it like this. Like, you would spend 18 to 20 bucks shipped on Bogart Pour Homme by Jacques Bogart. Right? 3 sprays of that will last you all freaking day. So 2 to 3 sprays is less than $250 ml. So really, when you're comparing that to a Stronger With You, you're getting a better value for a 100 mil of Bogart per ohm at $20 shipped, which lasts 12 hours plus, than you are with Stronger With You at $100, and it only lasts a few hours. I mean, even with Burberry London, great scent. Longevity is like ridiculous in a bad way. People complain about Dolce & Gabbana, the one eau de parfum. You don't get much longer with Burberry London. Great scent. Well composed for designer fragrances. And really, when you're thinking about a dollar for dollar, you're getting the same fragrance. Like back in the day, there was a woman by the name of Victoria Gent. She goes by the name OMG, EAUMG. She had a blog back in the day where she puts up a bottle and she values the bottle. Well, it costs this much, but deduct this much from this, add this much from this, deduct this much from this, add this much from this. What she did was she put a $50 designer fragrance up against a $200 fragrance, and at the end of the day, they're the same value. Now, I know there's some subjectivity to it, but at the end of the day, she was right. And this is my final point of part one. Why spend $50, $60 on something inferior when you can spend $50, $60 on a split for something superior? So that's part one done, as my man Eric says. Part two. Okay, again, this is my response to Everyday Products and Silver S. First off, first and foremost, you have to understand that as you get into this fragrance game further and further, when you start collecting and smelling a lot of fragrances, you're gonna change, it's gonna change your perception about mall fragrances completely. Like, you're gonna smell a lot of these fragrances in the mall and you're gonna go, terrible, poor, miss, not very good, average, like it but won't buy it, etc., etc. So that's one thing you need to keep in mind. The second thing you have to keep in mind, and this is my final point, you have to put some type of value into whatever product or service that you're investing in. But let's keep it in the realm of fragrances. You have to sit in the dining room table and think to yourself, well, yes, I am spending $25 to $30 more on Jazz Club as opposed to Stronger With You, but I'm getting a better performer, better composed, more thought went into Jazz Club. And as a consumer, I want to spend my money wisely. So that's my response to you, Everyday Products and Silver S. Let me know what you have to say in the comments section. I tested these mall fragrances in comparison to my recommendations on my channel, and I have to say my recommendations perform better. So that's my video for all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for having me, Jerry. I apologize for going over 10 minutes. So thanks so much. Good luck to everybody who participates. Have a great day.